Yo, what is up? We are back with a new video today, and we are featuring the M48A2 Raumpanzer. This is the bucket panzer new premium tank. But first of all, remember to subscribe and follow this if you have not already, especially if you are here for the mod pack videos that I update or upload frequently, and you can get a notification once you have that turned on. Now, why is this tank featured today in today's video? Well, because I think this is going to be some kind of a special tank. Now, I'm not a big fan of like slow, cumbersome, heavy medium tanks, but this tank is going to be something special that I'm going to be looking forward to in the next patch, maybe when it's available. It's in super test right now. This video is available, but there was no commentary, nothing on it, so I decided to make a commentary over it. So let's talk about this video. This is the Raumpanzer M48 Tier 8 Premium. This is going to be the new German premium tank. Yes, it is an American tank. It's based off a pattern, I suppose, but it has a bucket in the front, like a backhoe. Not a backhoe, I mean like it's got a scoop in the front, I guess, and supposedly gives you a lot of armor, I suppose, but I'm not too sure about how it works, because I noticed that it gets penetrated frontally very easily, especially if it has if you're shooting some premium ammo. Now, this tank has 1975 DPM, which is right about the same region as other medium tanks in tier 8. The penetration is 205 on the standard shells, which is not bad. If you're putting it up against a Pershing only has 190 penetration. T44-100 only has 190 penetration. The only thing that has better penetration on this tank is probably the STA2, which has 2112 penetration. The FV4202 and the Centurion RACC has 226 penetration. But 205 penetration is not bad at all for a tier 8 medium tank. It does 240 damage, relatively the same as other medium tanks around tier 8s. The other thing that other tanks that have more damage is only the T44-100, I suppose. The reload time, 7.29 seconds, is not bad at all. It's a lot quicker than most medium tanks. In fact, it is a lot quicker than a lot of medium tanks. The only tanks that are faster are the Centurions, the T44-100s, STA2, but only by like a tenth of a second, so it's not that much different. You can get it down to about 6.5 seconds if you're having like the good crew and food and stuff like that. It should be, the reload time is not a problem. Now, the feature about this tank is going to be the armor, but let's talk about the armor a bit later. We're going to talk about the caliber of the gun. 90mm caliber gun, shell velocity 972, so it's not like a high velocity but not slow velocity. It's not bad. It will be a formidable tank. It can fight. The standard shells are going to be heat shells, if I'm not mistaken, but they might change that. I'm not too sure about it. I think it's going to be heat shells with 255 penetration. That was the initial plan anyway, but that is all subject to change depending on what happens in the super test. But that's about what I can say about this tank so far. The aim time is beautiful on this tank, 1.82 seconds, and this is like stock. Once you have all your equipment and all your you know, good stuff that you have, food, vents and whatever, you're going to bring that aim time down to 1.5 seconds or something like that. It's ridiculous. The dispersion, or however, is not that great. 0.40 dispersion. It is among the worst compared to all the other medium tanks at tier 8s, but a 0.40 dispersion is not too bad if you are fighting in medium ranges. If your aim time is 1.82 seconds, your 0.40 dispersion isn't going to be too bad, I feel. And you're going to see this in this game. He's going to miss a couple of shots here. He made that one with 0.40 dispersion. He just needed to aim a little bit longer. But what's great about the Raumpanzer is the dispersion on the move. The moving dispersion 0.13. The traverse dispersion is also 0.13. The turret traverse dispersion is even better, 0.10. That means you can fire quite well if you are like poking, snapshotting on the move. Although the dispersion of the gun itself is 0.40, I think that this is going to be working well if you are side scraping, if you are poking out and taking some quick shots. It's going to be really good when you are kind of like in this kind of positions. But as you can see, this dispersion is hurting this tank. You can see the turret, the side of the turret right there, but you, out of that 5 shots, you only hit 2. So, and that is a stationary target. So this thing is probably going to be very useful in the close and medium distances, but in long ranges like that, it's not going to be working too well. Now, like I said, this tank isn't about the gun. It isn't about the speed and mobility. It's got the speed of a Super Pershing, to be honest with you. That's what the speed is like, 40 kilometers an hour going forward, 18 kilometers backwards. In fact, it is exactly like a Super Pershing. In fact, the Super Pershing is going to be a hair quicker in terms of mobility. This thing is slow as fuck, but what it lacks in speed, it makes up for it in the armor, and that's what this thing is about. 152.4 frontal hull armor, 76 millimeters on the side. Turret armor is 254 frontally, 76.2 on the side. Although if you're going to shoot it flat front on, you are probably going to shoot it with something like premium shells, so you're still going to penetrate this tank frontally if you are shooting premium rounds, which you probably would be if you come up against it anyway. So what is good about this tank, like I said, is the frontal armor, but not when you're shooting premium rounds against it. But because of the shovel configuration on the front of the tank, it's basically very flat frontally. So how are you going to make use of this flat frontal armor? Well, you want to poke with your shovel in an angle. So you don't give your enemies a flat frontal armor to shoot on. Give him an angled frontal armor to shoot on. So basically he's got nothing to shoot except your shovel and your turret. Now remember, your turret has 254 frontal armor, which means it's going to be very difficult to penetrate frontally. If you angle your shovel and you show them your turret, it's going to be very difficult to pen. And that is the advantage of this tank. Now it's not going to bounce everything. It's going to be kind of tricky. You need to time your reload. Now the good thing about this tank is the reload time is around 6.5 seconds if you have all the skills and all the rammers and BIAs and food. You can bring it down to about 6.5 seconds, so you can defend yourself fairly well. If you're going to compare that with a Super Pershing is going to reload slightly slower, around the same time but slightly slower than this tank. This tank will reload like half a second quicker if you have all the food vents and whatnot. Now this tank is this is a game over from here. This is 14 all. He actually should have got a Kolobanov's medal here because it is now a 1v1 versus RT. There is no reason why he shouldn't be able to finish off this artillery piece. Basically all you need to do is just drive straight to the enemy team and finish off that guy. But the problem is the enemy artillery is just going to be sitting in a bush waiting for you, and that is what's going to happen. He has got no more HP, so he's got to avoid artillery at all costs, and that is going to be the difficult part of this game. the artillery knows that he has the advantage, because basically this guy's got to come for artillery if he wants to win. The artillery has no reason to move. If he moves, he's going to get spotted and killed. So what his best play is going to be just wait in a bush for the M48 Raumpanzer. So that's what exactly is going to happen. Fuck artillery. Artillery wins this game in the end, but well, that's what you get. He did do very well, considering that this was a 1v5 situation. He's done over 3k damage, blocked more than 1.5, did a little bit of spotting himself. He's done the best that he could have done in the M48 Raumpanzer. Now, I don't really do a lot of preview videos and a lot of videos that are up, you know, tanks that are upcoming. I don't make videos of them because they're normally not very big deal kind of tanks. But the M48 Raumpanzer, German premium medium tank in tier 8, this is actually going to be a very special tank that I look forward to. It is not an OP tank at all in terms of firepower, reload time, or penetrations, or alpha damage. It is not going to be an OP tank, but it is going to be a very interesting tank because it is a medium tank with a bit of trollish armor that you can... It's a bouncy medium tank, a bit like the Super Pershing that is on the American tech, on the American line anyway. So this is going to be an interesting tank. I'm hoping to get one of these tanks to keep for myself, because I think this is going to be a very interesting tank to play because of the armor profile and how you can bounce armor, and that's what I'm looking forward to in this tank. Now, as you can see, this guy, he's trying his best to locate the artillery without being spotted himself. He's trying to use the undulations, the terrain, to try and you know, hopefully try to get the artillery to fire the first shot and hit the terrain instead of hitting him. He's doing his best to not knock over any tree or fencing, or so that he won't get spotted. But there you go, he's got spotted. He knows exactly where he is. He's at that corner where the light tanks usually hide, and he gets taken out and game over. What do you think of this tank? I am truly looking forward to this tank because of that armor profile, and ooh, it's going to be fun, this tank. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.